Hello again guys, how you all doing? Welcome back to another video. Hope you've all been well, enjoying the tail end of the summer holiday. Got a nice bank holiday weekend coming up in the UK. Hopefully the weather will stay nice for that one, fingers crossed. But yeah, got a Blu-ray update to get through here guys. Got some pretty cool things to give you a look at, including the first one, which is a film that's been doing the rounds on YouTube a lot among the horror community, thanks to Severin's recent Blu-ray release. But now finally the UK can get their hands on this much anticipated HD upgrade of the chilling classic from 1979, that is The Changeling. Wow, a really effectively made eerie little ghost film. If you haven't seen this one, I urge you to go back and revisit it and give it a chance. It's fully deserving of a place on anybody's horror shelf, in my opinion. And yeah, like I say, excellent looking release from Second Sight in the UK. They've really upped their game over the last year or two. They've put out some nice lavish looking box sets, really spoiling us fans of physical media, and this is just another example of their great output. They've adorned the front cover with some really nice atmospheric artwork. I love this. It goes with the tone of the film well. Really nicely done. And I'll just give you a quick look at what you get. There are some goodies inside as well. All comes housed in this nice sturdy box, which is always very welcome. Here's your keep case, which comes in a black case, which is very nice as well. And this is a reversible sleeve. You get the old retro artwork here, which is nice to have the option of this one and the newly commissioned one. Very cool. Inside you get the CD soundtrack, which is a nice bonus, and the Blu-ray disc of course. And you get a nice 40-page booklet, which I'm sure will be a very good read. It certainly looks to be. Excellent stuff. And you get a nice sizable poster as well included. Here you go, with the old poster, and this is also double-sided, so on the flip side you get the newly commissioned artwork, which looks even better blown up like that. Very cool. And yeah, this one's selling pretty quickly guys, so if you want your hands on this one, be quick about it, because it might not be in print for much longer. It might go out of print fairly quickly like the Extra box set did, which I did miss out on unfortunately. I held back on that one for too long and I paid the price, but I was determined to get this one as soon as possible. I didn't want to be stung like that again. So I learned from my mistake, and yeah, just relieved to have it. So that's The Changeling guys, highly recommended if you haven't seen the film. And if you have seen the film, I urge you to get this particular release, because it doesn't come with the audio glitches that the Severin disc does. Luckily Second Sight ironed out those problems before it went to the before it got to the release date, so they called it just in time. So yeah, great looking release for a great classic film. Alright, next up guys, we have another box set, really nice box set. Once again, this is the new Eureka double feature release of Police Story 1 and 2. Absolutely classic action films from the 80s from Hong Kong. Absolutely insane stunt work from Jackie Chan and his team, who often put their bodies on the line and pay the price with some quite nasty injuries themselves, but they put on a spectacular show. Highly recommended if you're into your action and you haven't seen these ones. Essential viewing, I believe, if you're into your action films. But yeah, an absolutely comprehensive box set release, a must-own for the collectors, especially if you love the films. You get 3 different cuts of each film. That's crazy. And I did hear about all these alternative cuts, and just glad to have them all in one package. And the main features have been remastered in 4K as well, so what a great way to go back and revisit these films in these nice remastered versions. Quite intrigued to see the picture quality on these ones. I won't go through all the special features, but I'll give you a quick glance, and you can pause the video to see for yourself exactly what you're getting. It's a must-own for fans of the film, like I said. Let's give you a quick look inside. Each movie comes in its own keep case. There you have the first film and the second one, and I believe these covers are reversible, and they give you something along the lines of what's on the front of the box here. And each movie comes with its own booklet. There you go. It's quite a thick booklet, about 44 pages long for the first film. It looks to be really interesting content inside in the book. Behind the scenes stills, promotional artwork. Actually, really interesting. And a booklet for the second film as well. Not quite as expansive as the booklet that's included with the first film. I think this one's about 30 pages. Still a fair sized book. Always nice to have these included. So yeah, a great package. Once again, Eureka have done us proud. The UK, another great label from this side of the pond. So yeah, very happy to finally have these on Blu-ray. I've been waiting patiently for a UK Blu-ray of these ones. So yeah, that's the Blue Story 1 and 2. Next up, we go back to the horror. Here we have A Quiet Place. This is the 4K steelbook, which was exclusive to the UK, HMV in the UK, but I'm sure this has been released in other territories around the world. But yeah, a decent film, not terribly original. I don't want to ruin the plot just in case you haven't seen it, but it's got some pretty heart-pounding moments, some edge-of-your-seat stuff, and some heartfelt moments as well along the way, with the story. It's well acted, and yeah, it's a good watch. It's not great, but it passes the time well. It's not a very long film, but it's just one you can throw on and enjoy. It's a bit slow in places, but it's worth sticking with, I think. So anyway, that's A Quiet Place. Pretty nice steelbook. There's the back of it there. So yeah, happy to have this one. So that's A Quiet Place. Next up, we have a couple of 88 films releases. Here we have Dead Time Stories, which is a horror anthology from 1986. It's not too bad. It's a bit silly in places. Whoa, voice went there. Apologies. It's a bit silly in places. It's been made for laughs, really, and a bit of sleaze, a bit of gore. It's not the greatest anthology. I'm not the biggest fan of anthologies in general, really, but I'm glad to finally have it. It's one I've heard about for a while, and it's finally hit the UK shelves, and it's not a bad release at all. Another welcome addition to the 88 Films collection. With a nice slipcover, and it comes with a 2-page little booklet thing inside. Nothing too expansive, but it's nice to have those little things included. So yeah, that's Dead Time Stories. Pretty cool. Next up, another 88 Films release, and this is Hansel and Gretel. This is a South Korean made film from 2007, and it offers up a different take on the Hansel and Gretel story that we all know and are familiar with. It just flips things on its head, and it plays out very differently to what you would expect it to, and it works well. They've done a good job of it. It's something a bit more fresh with regards to the story, and it's a very pretty film. It's very vibrantly coloured. The colours just pop off the screen. It looks fantastic in HD, so it's a very visually stunning film, but a bit overly long. Sometimes things do get a bit repetitive, certain scenarios, and it could have done with shaving off about 10 or 15 minutes in my opinion, but still a worthy watch, I would say, if you don't mind foreign cinema, because it is subtitled. It's all in Korean, and it's once again a nice little release from 88 Films. So yeah, that's Hansel and Gretel from 2007. Next up, we have a bit of John Rowling. This is the Demoniacs from 1974. This is a bit of rape revenge, but it's made purely for titillation. Lots of nudity and sexual scenarios taking place, which do slow down the proceedings, in my opinion. So that not much time is given to the actual revenge. It's quite unsatisfying in that regard, and a bit slow in places. But it's one I've been wanting to watch for a while, and my curiosity has been satisfied enough. I found it for cheap in CEX, so I didn't fork out too much money for it. And yeah, this is the UK release from Black House, and it appears to be the fully uncut version. The previous release on DVD in the UK was cut by nearly a minute to the sexual violence scenes, because there's quite an unpleasant rape scene early on, and I believe that was trimmed in the UK release on DVD. But this one appears to be fully uncut, but not only that, it appears to be the extended version of the film, which runs about 6 minutes longer. So for the collectors of John Rowling films, and you don't have this one yet, this is worth a pickup. It's bare bones, absolutely bare bones, except for a bunch of trailers, but what can you do? This is the best the UK has at the moment. You might want to go with the Regione US release, because I believe that one comes for a book and a slipcase and a few special features. But if you see this one going for cheap in the UK, it's worth a pickup. So that's the Demoniacs. Next up, something a bit more recent. Here we have the recent thriller Wind River, which is a decent enough murder mystery investigation type thing. Quite a somber, downbeat atmosphere to this one. It wasn't quite as thrilling as I was expecting it to be, but it's well enough acted, and the story was gripping enough to hold my attention until the end. But yeah, this one does have some unpleasant moments as well. As the film plays out, you'll see what I mean. But not too bad. It's solid enough, but not as good as I was expecting it to be. Yes, that's Wind River. And lastly, up for in this update, we have a ghost story, which was a real surprise actually. I didn't expect to like this one as much as I did, and I was put off early on by lots of negative reviews of this one. And I saw it going in CEX for a decent price, and I thought I'd give it a go. You know, I was curious about this one, and it's pretty good. It just offers up a different take on the ghost story theme. You see things from the perspective of the ghost, and their existence after they've passed on, and what causes them to linger around, to haunt places. And it's not really a horror film, but it's definitely supernatural in theme, so I would bundle it into the horror genre. But it's yeah, it's pretty good. It's not too over sentimental, and it just offers you a bit more context to your typical your ghost movie, where you see things like things falling off the shelf for no particular reason, and this one just offers you up why a ghost would act that way, and what goes through their mind. And yeah, I thought it was pretty interesting. It's very slow going in places, but it's only a short film, so you won't have to suffer too long if you're having a hard time with it. I urge you to stay with it until the end. I thought it was quite satisfying, and yeah, the actual ghost, you do feel very sorry for the ghost. It's like I said, but it's not too over sentimental. But it held my attention, and I was rewarded with it. So yeah, that's a ghost story. Not quite as bad as you might have heard, but just expect a bit of a slow burn. So yeah, that's it for this update, guys. Stay tuned for more updates, and thanks for watching. Thanks for the subscribers, for those of you who've recently subscribed, and for the comments as well. And you guys take care of yourselves, and enjoy the rest of your week. Bye bye.